Hi, everyone. Thanks for tuning in. This is Everyday Inspiring Women, and this is the second episode we're doing. And I am super excited and honored to have one of my dear friends, Alicia Filley, is here with me today. And we're going to be kind of talking about her journey. Alicia is what isn't she? So she's a runner, she's a mother of four, she's a physiotherapist, she's an awesome author, and really takes care of her family, and also does a lot of really good fundraising efforts as well. I'm not sure if we're going to talk about that or not, but definitely wanted to mention it. We met, I feel like it's like 2.5 years ago now, through a group coaching, probably, right? Yeah, through a group coaching program that we're both a part of for moms. And we have been accountability partners for at least 2 years, probably more. And for those of you who don't know what that really means, it's just kind of like we're working on our own things, like our own stuff, but we touch base about on a weekly basis just to see where we're at, if we can support each other, hold each other accountable in a loving way, of course, and anything else that we're working on, or just want to like bounce ideas off of each other. That always, I think we use that quite a bit, actually. Did I miss something on there, Alicia? Did I catch everything? I mean, more about you, I'm sure I missed.
I think you hit the high notes.
Okay. Awesome.
Yeah.
So I'm just gonna have a few questions for you, and then so I'll just jump right in. If you have any questions for me, let me know. But first, I want to start something. Of course, this is a nice loaded question to start off with, starting off strong. But just tell us a little bit about your story. Where are you at currently? What obstacles you've had to overcome, and maybe some obstacles that you find that you're still facing.
Okay.
It's a loaded question, right?
That's a big question. It's been half a century of lifetime to go over, but
just had a big birthday.
I did. Gosh, I was gonna start in the recent past, but I think I have to go back. I think I have to go way back. And I think the biggest obstacle that I've had to overcome is the fact that my mom died when I was 18 months old, and how that impacted my life, my relationships, and ongoing. That's still, after nearly 50 years, that's still, that visceral relationship still plays a role in how I react to others and to life, which makes one of the big roles that I have in my life of motherhood just that much more important to me.
Absolutely.
So that was just something that, is a continual just kind of hole in your heart that you learn to deal with. And I know that there's a lot of people who lose a parent at various stages of their life, and it's never an easy thing to do, to go through. So that's been a big obstacle, but it's I didn't think I was going to talk about that today, but there you go. See, Jessica, see what you see?
We've had this conversation before, and really, I think it's interesting that you're like, thank you for bringing it up and sharing. I think it's, when we share our story, it helps us, but it helps other people who are dealing with it, like you said. And, how does that impact your relationship with other women, or your father, or like you said, like with your kids?
Right.
When you didn't have that direct relationship, how does that shape you as a mother?
Right. I'm blessed that I had an amazing woman raise me, and I'm just so blessed that she calls me her daughter.
Yeah.
but that still is different yet from, that direct parent relationship.
Mm-hmm.
So I really understand how people who are adopted, who have wonderful parents and have had wonderful life experiences, how they still have that desire to reestablish that connection with that biological person. So I think that, that leads me into, I always used to pray, God, don't give me a daughter because I don't know what I'm doing. I was really comfortable around men and guys. My dad raised me for 6 years on his own. I have lots of male cousins and lots of uncles, and was really just comfortable with that kind of relationship. I really knew where I stood, and God did give me a daughter, a wonderful, beautiful, incredible daughter.
Yeah.
But learning how to have that mother-daughter relationship has been just that. It's been learning. And that, when I look at personal development, I think that is really one of the things that started me on a personal development journey.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, it's like when you face those, I mean, that's a huge obstacle for sure. And then having a daughter and raising her, going, every interaction you're having with her that goes good or that doesn't go good, it just keeps bringing stuff up to say, oh, you need to work on this. Oh, look, you get to grow here.
Yeah.
and then for you to say, okay, you can keeps kind of showing up for you, going, you need to grow. And then, which is good, but then more importantly, that you took action to say, okay, the universe keeps telling me, God keeps telling me I need to grow in this area. Now I'm going to show up for that call. And that's really what motivated you, right?
It is. And it's an ongoing thing, as all relationships are. It's an ongoing thing. Even this morning, I'm like, okay, I'm doing it wrong today. But it has deepened our relationship. So let me go back a little bit. I don't want to share things that are not my story, but because of my daughter, I did have the opportunity to interact with a psychologist who was wonderful, really wonderful, and very action step oriented. And she did a lot of things, taught me a lot about interaction, about how to learn about other people and learning differences and personality differences. And that was wonderful, a really wonderful experience. She retired. and I said, oh gosh, I'm okay. I can do this. And things were going okay. And then about 3 years ago, I was looking a year ahead, and my 2 older sons were graduating from high school, transitioning to college. My daughter was graduating from 8th grade, transitioning to high school. My youngest son was making his first communion. And so there were all these life events that were going to happen in a very short period of time, and a lot of transitions. Yeah. And I just looked ahead at all of that and realized I'm going to need some support and help to get myself through all of this, and not just the logistics of planning all those parties.
Right. It's like a wedding, right? It's like a wedding.
It was like 3 weddings. Yeah, it was, that was a feat in of itself. But also the skills to handle the transitions, to have half of my children leave home at the same time.
Right.
To have someone in my house who I had thought of as a very young person now transitioning to a young adult.
Yeah.
And then establishing a new normal in our house with 2 children gone. And so I just really felt like I needed somebody to teach me how to get through this.
Right.
And so when I went on that journey to find that, I was very specific. I did not need somebody to have a bitch session with.
Right.
You know, if I want to complain or cry, I'll go out with my girlfriends.
Yes.
I really needed someone to teach me how to do this and to give me action steps. And that's when I entered a group coaching program. And that's where we met.
Yeah, that's incredible. And I think, knowing that, going, I'm facing all of these obstacles, and instead of being like, I got this, and then ending up overwhelmed and with anxiety, not that frustration, like, I need help. And also not thinking we already know all the answers too, right? Like, sometimes we do, sometimes they're inside of us, but sometimes we need someone to help us see the answers for ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
And saying, take action, do this, those sorts of things.
And I think one of the things that I said when I was looking at those programs and sort of trying things on for size was I wanted to experience all of those transitions and all of those life events with fullness and joy and ease.
Yes.
I didn't want to be that stressed out, hair on fire, skidding in on two wheels mom.
Yes.
Which I can be.
Yeah, I think we all can.
We can all be that.
Yes.
But I wanted to just really savor and be fully present for all that. And it was a beautiful year. It was a year of a lot of growth for me. It was a lot of growth in my relationship with my daughter. Our relationship really, really grew during that time period. And then it was just beautiful celebrations and joy for all of it.
That's awesome.
I didn't kill anybody.
Amazing.
I know, right?
Yes. But that, you talk about like celebrating the small things. That's a big thing to celebrate. For sure. That's incredible. And I think being present, yeah, you're right. Planning it is one thing, but like showing up and being fully present to enjoy those things,
Mm-hmm.
that's what you'll remember. Like and your kids will probably have noticed a big difference too, that they were probably able to enjoy it because you gave yourself permission to be present and enjoy it too.
I hope so. I hope it's special memories for them.
Yeah, that's awesome. So what do you do for self-care usually? Like, so what was what were the tools, some of the tools you used to help get you ready? Sorry, I'm assuming self-care. But you tell me.
Yeah, self-care is become a real buzzword lately, and you're starting to really see it in magazines and, online articles.
Mm-hmm.
And I think there's some confusion about what that is supposed to mean and what it does mean.
Right.
I'm going to tell you right now, going for a pedicure is not self-care for me. That's just maintenance. It's like getting your oil changed. And I'm like, listen, I got places to go and stuff to do. Get in, get out. No, I don't want the massage, just down and dirty. Let's, like,
yes.
But I do know some women that is self-care. Like for them, that really just gives them that time and they really love that. And they feel so energized and better after that. So I think one thing is, self-care is not going to look the same for everybody.
Right. Agreed.
And I think the definition of it is just really doing things that make you feel good.
Yeah.
So for me, it's exercise.
Right.
I am a runner, but I cycle and I lift weights and I do lots of other stuff. I love being outside. So anything that gets me outside, I hike.
Yes. Amazing. So Alicia has house in Utah, and I was there this summer visiting, and we went hiking in the mountains in Utah, and it was just like, I want to live there. Like, it was amazing.
I do too.
Yeah. Like, I can't wait to go back. It was, yeah. I could go on and on about that. I won't, but I totally could. It's beautiful.
But that kind of experience is that was an almost spiritual experience, that hike that we went on, right? And so I think that would rightly be called self-care. Like, that was a real fun, I don't even know how to describe it, experience. So it's whatever lights you up. So those are some of the things. I do like to read.
Mm-hmm.
I don't do that one often enough, but and then self-care changes, depending on your season, and time in your life. When you've got young kids running around, like, just shutting the door and taking a shower by yourself is like, the angels sing and the clouds part, and it's a glorious experience.
It's so true.
So that changes in life. But for me, really just getting outside every day, exercising every day, eating well, just eating very healthfully, taking care of this beautiful piece of engineering I call my body.
Yes. Yes. That's it. It's your vessel, right?
Right. And then just connecting with my family and kids, having that special time with them.
Amazing. Yeah, I totally agree. That's awesome. So how do you deal with any guilt that pops up for you, or like, oh, I shouldn't be doing this. I really need to be doing X, Y, Z instead, because I'm sure your to-do list is a mile long. So, like, I'm always interested in people's responses to this one, because, as women, it's like we have so much. Men have a lot too, but we have a lot on our plates a lot, and it's going, well, how do I even fit myself in? And I know so many women who haven't been through this process who's like, they're last on their list or not even on it. And I feel like, and at least for me, I had a hard time putting myself on the list, and then, continuously moving myself up because of all the feelings of guilt, or I don't deserve it, or I'm not, my own self-worth issues would pop up, at least for me. So, and I feel like other women, it's an issue for them as well. So I'm just curious, how do you deal with that? Like, how do you deal with those feelings?
I think that some of it is just age will take care of all that for you.
That's true. I agree.
I find that I've become a whole lot more no nonsense.
Totally.
Like, I think my 50s are going to be fantastic for me. Everybody else might want to back off a little bit. And you start not worrying so much about everybody else's expectations.
Yeah.
So I think some of that just comes with maturity. But also, I think, some just basic questions you have to ask yourself. If I go around the block, if I take a walk around the block, just to get some air, clear my head, is the house going to burn down? Right. Is everyone safe? Is everyone fed? And everyone is safe? Then it's okay. There may be dirty dishes in the sink. There will always be laundry to be done. That is just a given. So stop beating yourself up over that one. There will always be deadlines. There will always be your boss. There will always be all of those things. Is everybody safe? And really, get over yourself. If you're feeling guilty, you got to get over yourself. You're not as important in the cosmos as you think you are. Now, everybody may be telling you that you are. Like, your kids may be saying, I can't go to the bathroom if you're not standing here. And that's probably a real conversation I've had at some point in 20 years of motherhood. But the reality, is that the truth?
Yes.
Is that reality?
Right.
So I don't feel as guilty as maybe I used to. It's hard for me to tap into that question because I'm not feeling it so much.
Awesome. So this is what we have to look forward to then. So as we keep on chipping away at it, and I've noticed as I've gotten older too, it's like it's a lot easier. Things I've built up in my mind aren't true, and yeah, my kids are highly capable. And the more responsibility I give them, the more it installs in their own self-worth and their own confidence too. Because I say, you can do this by yourself. And they're like, no, I can't. But then they start doing it. And then they're like, yes, I can. And then they feel good about it. So I think it's twofold on that one too.
Absolutely. And as a mom, there's so much you can feel guilty about. I still have a youngster. I have a 10-year-old, and he tells me all the time, why are you being so mean? I'm doing my job right.
I'm winning every day.
That's right.
Hilarious. Oh, that's so good. Awesome. And I'm excited. It's just going to get better then, those feelings.
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, perfect. So what are you working on right now? Like, what do you have, like, themes that are kind of you're bouncing up against right now? Stuff that's coming up for you?
My allergies are coming up. It's excuse me, please. It's allergy season in Houston. So, excuse me. What's coming up for me? Funny enough, I feel like I'm in a sort of a transition phase.
Yeah.
Like my children are older now and don't really need me as much. Although I'm here for them, and I'm thankful that that we have a life where I can be here with them.
Yeah.
But I am transitioning into doing a little bit more professionally for me.
Yeah.
So I am a writer and looking at more opportunities to do that a little more.
Mm-hmm.
And sort of just becoming a grown-up in that regard. But it was a really exciting time. I ran into a girlfriend in the grocery store who's same age, sort of same thing. Her kids are off at college, and she just lost her job. And I said, gosh, I'm really sorry. She says, no, it's going to be fine. It's going to be fine because I have all these other opportunities now. And she said, it's kind of really exciting. And I said, it's kind of really exciting right now, isn't it? It's kind of an exciting time of life because we get to reinvent ourselves again. We were young professionals, and then we were married, and then moms, and now this is sort of a new phase, which I'm kind of excited about. So transition right now.
Transition, yeah.
Is kind of my theme. Just and figuring out the next reincarnation.
Right. So then what's your next right step? Just the next step, right?
Next big step is really it's getting myself organized and taking myself seriously as a writer professional. I have been doing it seriously, but not seriously. Like, sorry, not sorry. It's sort of like,
right.
Like, yes, it is serious and it's good work, and I've been for the last 10 years, staying as busy as I want to be. But it's still sort of haphazard, like my editor still has to say, please send in your invoice, and
right.
And I'm shuffling under report cards and school pictures, looking for manuscripts to research. And it's like, I think this is really where I'm landing. So it's time for me to act a little more professional in this regard.
Awesome.
And so that's what I'm doing. And thankfully you've been helping with getting some of my online presence, just established and consistent. And because that's a thing now. I don't know if you've heard.
Yeah, there's this thing called the Facebook.
The Facebook, I know. I'm not quite that old. The Facebook.
I'm totally joking. But it's true. Like, it's about visibility in your business, and like, how do you get visible? Like, how do you start putting your name out there and keep writing articles and then just growing your business too, right?
Right.
Starting, going, okay, I'm not just like tinkering around with this, I'm like doing it.
Yeah, I'm actually doing it.
Which really reminds me of something you said to me.
We don't really need to go there, do we?
We'll talk about that later, but it's funny because it's the same way, like, right, like it's like my toes in the water with coaching, and I'm like, oh, and we would have these conversations, and you're like, oh my God, just do it. Stop talking about it and just do it. Those aren't exactly the words you used, but that's okay. We're editing, we're censoring this a little bit. And you know what? And we got off that call, and I'm like, that wasn't very nice, like it just sat with me, and I had to, because we have this incredible relationship where, yeah, we love each other and support each other and are there an ear, but we're also here to help each other. And if we're not telling each other the truth, then really what's the point in that too? And that's what helped me go, not be upset about it, obviously, but going, okay, she's telling me this because it's coming from a loving place, and I think that's one thing I respect so much about our relationship is that, and I've done the same to you where I've just said, well, what about that? Or why are you doing that? Those sorts of things. And it's never from a judgment perspective. It's always from a loving spot to go, what about this? Or stop,
well, that's
just do it.
Stupid. Yeah.
Right. And we've had these conversations. And so, but it's just, I think that's is a lot of our relationship that I don't know what the right word is, but like admire, like I love about it so much is that we are totally upfront too. And it is a big, a love fest, but it's also very honest too. So I appreciate that very much. So
well, I do too.
Yeah, I'm very lucky.
Yeah.
Okay. Awesome. So just do it then. I will actually, quite honestly, I have a sign posted on my cork board with your exact words on it that I look at. And every time I'm like, oh my God, starting to play small or feel, issues, I'm like, okay, just stop it. Just go. So thank you for that too. I'll put it as a meme one day and send it to you.
Oh, okay. I would love that.
So, all right. So if people wanted to connect with you, like with your Facebook page, and you're just finishing up your website, which I'm excited, and you're starting to really take action and put all those things in place for yourself. How would they do that? So,
I've had friends all my life, but I've never had an accountability partner. And that is just really a different kind of relationship. And I would encourage everybody to find that. Like if there's something you want to do or someplace you want to be in your life on a different level, whether it be spiritual or physical or professional, or even just mental in the way that you think and react to the world, I would recommend trying to find someone who's an accountability partner for that. And it's different from a mentor. So it's not someone who's you're trying to emulate and always giving you advice. It's and it's different from a girlfriend.
Yes.
Although it can be a girl or it can be a guy, whoever. But it is someone who will hold your feet to the fire and help you persist when you want to resist to achieve the goals that you want.
For sure.
Yeah. And so, I was thinking about this earlier. When you and I get together, like we don't talk about our kids. I don't know what your kids do or what they're involved in or how often you drive carpool or anything like that.
Yeah.
Which, I know your children. I know you have children and they're lovely, but it's really just more about Jessica. You said you were going to do this by this week. How are you making progress on that? So
yeah,
I would just really encourage anyone to find someone that you can have that kind of relationship with so that you can grow in whatever area of your life you're wanting to move forward in.
Yes. I couldn't agree with you anymore. And it's that thing too, like surrounding yourself with people to improve yourself, right? Like you're a product of the people you surround yourself with. So when you're around people who are constantly wanting, to do more good things, and support you along the way, I think it's awesome.
Yeah.
I don't know another word. I can't think of a better word for it, but
Yeah.
it truly is. Yay. Well, thank you so much. I
Well,
really
you're welcome.
appreciate it. And we will talk soon.
I hope
Okay.
so.
Thanks.
Take care. Bye.
Okay, bye.